All right, welcome, St. Augustine. We are here for the Mike Davis Show. Amanda and Levi, take over Mike Davis Show.
Yes, Amanda and Levi, take over Mike Davis Show.
Mike is away. He announced to all of you that he is going to his own shower. So we do have an update from Mike Davis from his shower. Are you excited about the update?
I am excited about the update.
Yeah, it's the longest shower known to man. Whole week.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. So you're going to have 2 Wednesdays where it's just Amanda and Levi, no Mike Davis. He'll be gone from Wednesday to Wednesday. So we've got a few shows planned and some fun. We do need to pay some bills because that's the way we get paid. All right. So we'll go to the reads. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com, or you can head down there, check out Bo and Letty's inventory. They have amazing selection. They do a great job, and they are going to make sure you get a great vehicle. And stop by Ford's Garage for a Jiffy Burger. I hear it's pretty tasty. Have you had the Jiffy Burger yet?
I've never been to Ford's Garage.
Yeah?
How crazy is that?
That's wild.
I know.
So there's the 904 Now burger there.
Yes.
It's got Pete, Troy, Davey, and I think Clay's name is on this burger. They were specially chosen by the chef for this burger.
Well, I'm making an executive decision and taking my girlfriend there on date night this week.
Nice. So the Jiffy Burger has peanut butter on it.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a wild card burger.
Okay.
So you have to report back next week.
Peanut butter on a burger.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Interesting.
We're not boring here at the 904 Now.
I can tell.
All right. So next up, if you don't have dinner plans tonight and you're not heading to Ford's Garage, go have dinner with the Tringali family at Carmelo's Pizzeria. They were voted best pizza 9 years running. They've got New York style brick oven pizza. They also serve salad, subs, wings, and more. Or you can head down to 123 Burger House, voted best burger 3 years running. They also have chicken, wings, salads, authentic wood-fired pizza, and ice cream for dessert. Both restaurants offer dine-in, takeout, and delivery through Bite Squad and Grubhub. Join the Tringali family for dinner.
I have had both of those places. Yeah.
They're great.
I ate a whole Carmelo's pizza last week by myself, and that's the first time I've done
like
that.
My husband.
That's the first time I've done that since college when I lived down there.
Yeah.
And I had it all the time because they would put the pizza slices out late at night and you could get them for $1 right there.
Nice.
Oh, but yeah, it was a nice little trip down memory lane. And
I remember when Carmelo's was renovated. I was working at the winery when they renovated that and it became Carmelo's Pizzeria. So like we were watching the progress and suddenly we had a nice quick place to eat lunch. So
it's great. My mom eats there all the time. She works down there at the school board. So yeah, it's great.
It's nice. Tringali family knows how to feed you for dinner.
They do.
And Solomon Services knows how to get you in shape. They have a summer athletic program, strength development for athletes, speed, agility, quickness, reaction drills, first step, upper body development for powerlifting, body, explosive speed, all of the things. If you are a student in middle school, high school, or college, and you are trying to get in shape this summer for your sports program, check out Solomon Services. They are there to get you in tip-top shape before your season starts. They've got all of the amazing things for all of the working out. Solomon Services summer programs. That read is written just for Mike to be able to say it, and he never gives it to me. So I have no idea what I'm supposed to say there. I did the best I could, guys. The other group that does the best they can is Hebert, Kresge and Associates. They are a full-service CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing a top level of service in the areas of tax compliance and planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts, audits, reviews, and other accounting services. They do business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach them at 904-460-0747 or online at hebertkresgecpa.com. Call them now. Don't wait until the new year to get your taxes in order. Get that under control now. Don't let it get crazy, right?
Coming from someone who let it get crazy and they had to fix it for me.
Yes.
Get it under control now. Being proactive in tax is always the way to go.
Absolutely. Do not wait to the last minute on that. So we do have an update. So Mike told everybody that he is at a shower. I have it on good authority. He's with our friend Tim O'Neill and the Christian Surfers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're doing some good work.
What kind of shower? Do we have a photo?
Some sort of shower. Let me see if I can find that. I did get an update. I always have my sources. So he's with a great group of guys. They're doing hard work. It looks like they're not afraid to get dirty. They're not afraid to get clean either, folks. We have an update. Mike Davis in the shower with, it looks like Humphrey Bogart.
Look at Mike.
I didn't know Humphrey Bogart was the surfer.
Neither did I.
No.
And I didn't know Mike was hitting the gym like that.
I mean, Solomon Services. They did a good job getting Mike into shape for this Christian surfer trip, right?
Right? Big time.
That's intense.
Good for you, Mike.
All those gains in Solomon Services. He's always talking about how much time he's spending in the pool, and it is definitely paying off.
It is paying off for him big time.
Yeah,
and I love the filter. I love the black and white filter he threw on it. He's learning how to use Instagram, social media.
For sure.
Okay.
It's that Android. It's been challenging for him.
Gosh, how are we going to get him on the iPhone team?
It's never going to happen. The more we talk about it, the more he insists that it's never going to happen.
When he texted me with the green text, I was like, whoa, this guy.
I know. You can't name any of the group chats because he's in there.
Exactly.
It drives me crazy. I'm in so many group chats because I homeschool my kids, and I'm in the class that I lead, and then the class that my son's in, and then my class that my daughter's in. So I'm in all of these group chats, and there's always one person on an Android. And so I can't name the group chat, and it drives me crazy.
I purposely leave the Android people out of our group chats and just text them individually of what's going on in the group chat. I'm like, listen, you can't be part of the club until you're part of the club. Okay?
Man.
We're not going to lose all our
That's intense.
tech savvy ability in the text group just because you decided to not have
I don't want to pay data rates.
An iPhone. No, me neither.
Right? iMessage.
Crazy.
Free.
Free
on Wi-Fi. That's what we need. Put it in the chat. Should Mike Davis get an Apple? I think we need him to ditch the Android. It's causing issues. Work issues.
Yes, we agree.
All right. So you are in your Olympic gear.
I am.
Go ahead and give us an Olympic update. What you got?
Team USA is doing really well so far. They are medaling in events that we haven't medaled in the past, which is big.
Nice.
The basketball team just finished playing. That's why I have my basketball gear on.
Nice.
And they have officially been the first team to qualify for the elimination round. So they made it out of group play, and they're into the elimination round. Cool. So go Team USA. So
how many, I don't know, how many levels do they have to get through to get gold?
So they would play 6 games total.
Okay.
They would play 3 group play games and then 3 elimination games.
Okay.
They are 2 games down, but since they are the only undefeated team in their group, they have officially qualified for that elimination game status.
So kind of like the World Series, if you win, 4, then you don't have to play the rest of the series?
Well, no. So group play is like a round robin with points, and then you go into a single elimination bracket. So I would say more like college basketball, which you're probably not familiar with March Madness.
March Madness. I mean, brackets.
Yeah.
I Google so that I can participate.
Yeah. Well, now they have the autofill feature, so you can just autofill the statistically most likely one to win. You're going to have to hook
me up with that.
I got you. I'll take care of you. Listen,
Mike
they're going to be shocked.
Wants me to do it, and I can't do it.
They're going to be shocked come spring. You're going to be one of the leading brackets, and they're going to be like, how did Amanda go from last place the past 5 years to the winner?
Research.
I got you. I got you. Don't worry. I got you.
We can do that. So I see the USA is leading in the most number of medals.
Yes.
But we're not number 1 in golds.
We are not.
So it looks like South Korea has edged us out in gold medals.
For right now. Yes.
My lucky number, not Taylor Swift's, mine, lucky number 13 for silvers. And then we have 13 silver medals.
Yes.
And then we've got 12 bronze medals.
And how many golds do we have?
30 totaled. We got 5. 5 gold medals.
Nice.
All right. So what are the events that you're into the most?
Basketball's number 1 for me for sure. Number 2 would probably be track, the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter, the 4x1. And then number 3 would probably be gymnastics.
Okay.
Which our women's team took home the gold in gymnastics, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, Simone Biles.
She hurt herself in her warm up and then had to wrap her ankle for the event and killed it.
She's not the first gymnast to famously hurt her ankle and push through and get gold. I'm just saying.
Do you follow? Because you were a swimmer in high school, right?
I was a swimmer.
Do you follow the swim?
I haven't been. I mean, right now, my Olympic hero is Bob the Cap Guy.
Okay.
So he's like the random lifeguard that just is doughy and pale. And he rocked his Speedo out there.
I love
jumps into the empty pool to retrieve the swim cap. So he's currently my Olympic hero because that is relatable to me. I can be the doughy person that goes and gets the elite athlete swim cap. I
like it. I
can clean up a space.
Nice.
That's my Olympic dream.
That's a talent within itself. I always tell my
Los Angeles. I'm going to be the cap.
I always tell my girlfriend cleaning the house is a full-time job. I understand it's a full-time job.
We're canceled. Simone Biles. So Simone Biles hurt her ankle. She wrapped it. She came back. She did that 12-foot leap.
Yes.
That insane leap.
Yes.
So it was 12 feet from the top of her head to the ground, right?
And that's wild when you look at her sit on a couch and her feet don't touch the ground.
Yes.
On a normal couch.
Well, so someone, a bioengineer, did a breakdown of that jump.
Oh, like and a sports science of it? Yeah.
So it was wild. So she's what, like 5'4"?
Maybe.
She's tiny. I don't even know if she's that tall.
She might be 4'11".
She might be. But so if you measure her feet, the total height of the jump was 12 feet. But if you measure from her feet to the ground, she straight up jumped over every current NBA player.
Holy cow. Well,
the height of her feet was like 7'4".
That's nuts.
And the tallest NBA player right now is 7'4". So she leapt over every single NBA player.
Trivia question for you. Who's the tallest NBA player right now?
Oh, I saw the name because I saw the video, but I don't know him. I don't know him.
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I never would have been able to pronounce that anyway.
Who is French.
Yeah.
Funny
French.
enough.
Oui, oui.
Yep, oui, oui.
Well, Simone Biles jumped over his height. She would have kicked him in the head, but she still would have jumped over him.
That's impressive.
That's wild, right?
She's explosive.
She's tiny. And so she does that. She does that amazing feat, and people are talking about her hair.
Yeah, I mean,
calm down, internet. I don't care.
That's the internet for you, though.
And she even said, she's like, I don't care if my edges are smooth. I'm here to win medals.
Yeah, facts.
Which,
you go, girl.
I'm proud of her. I'm glad she doesn't care. Just be unbothered. That's what we need. Unbothered women who don't care what people say. Talking trash.
For sure.
So she, this is her first Olympics married, right? She's married to an NFL player, yeah?
I have no idea.
No? She's married, I think.
Sorry, I didn't do my background checks on Simone Biles before the podcast. I'm
just thinking, Simone Biles, I think Owens is her husband's name. I think so. She's 27 years old. She's 4'8". She's 4'8". And
you were giving her almost a foot.
I know. Dude. See, I gotta pull up my information first.
4'8".
Yeah, she's married to Jonathan Owens.
Okay.
See, I know she wears green a lot. Is it Jets? Is it Packers?
It could be the Jets. I don't know.
Jonathan Owens. I know that
I should know who Jonathan Owens is, but I don't.
He's a safety
for the Packers.
All right. We got this.
I saw the caller.
We can do it. All right, so that's her husband. They haven't been married long. They've been married since 2023. So yeah, this is her first Olympics married. So this is a big comeback for her because she was at the last Summer Olympics and she noped out. She said, for my mental health, I have to leave. And that was controversial. People had thoughts about that. So for her to come back at 27 years of age, which is very young,
but old for the sport. Yes.
She even said, she's like, I'm a grandma here on this team. And dude, a 12-foot jump, that is wild, man. So it says that she's got gold.
Yeah. Yeah. And I saw that she got gold.
Yeah.
Good for her. That's awesome. What a story.
I mean, that floor routine was fantastic. But yeah, do you know who I'm talking about? The other famous Olympian with the hurt ankle?
No, I don't. I don't know.
Carrie Shrug.
I have no idea.
Carrie Scruggs? Yep, Scruggs.
Okay, so he was on the Packers and now he is on the Bears.
All right.
People in the chat helping us out.
Thank you, chat.
Sherry and Josh. Thank you.
So, I got the wrong one. Let me see. She famously hurt her ankle.
Okay.
And this chick. So that's her.
I've seen her before.
That's her coach. So like she has to vault in order for America to get the gold medal. She has to vault, and she's hurt, and she can barely walk. Carrie Scruggs, and so she does this amazing vault. I'll see if I can pull it up. Just a flashback. So this is another make it or break it. You've got a hurt ankle. You've got to do it right now, and she did it.
That's awesome.
And America won gold. She couldn't even walk off the mats. Her coach had to go get her.
Everyone loves a good athlete story when it comes to the Olympics.
Yeah. Let's see. I think this is the moment. You'll see her all bandaged up, and she has to run like the Dickens and get that vault. And it's...
I mean, you worked your whole life for something like this. So.
All of the training for this moment. So she has to go again.
Okay. Oh!
She lands it.
She landed on one foot.
And then she drops. So they cut it, but she drops, and they have to run and get her and carry her off because she can't walk.
Wow.
But that was what they needed to get gold that year.
What a cool story.
And she did. So it's kind of a flashback moment
that's awesome.
We have another American gymnast hero with a hurt ankle who does it in the moment of struggle, and she gets gold.
Through. Yep.
We love those stories. That's why the Olympics are inspiring.
Yes, it is.
These Olympics have had a little bit of controversy.
A little is understating it, but yes.
So what are some of the controversies? We talked a little bit about the opening ceremonies. Do you have thoughts about the opening ceremonies?
Yes. So here's my thing, is that the European Union, all the countries there, the majority of them are Christian countries.
Yeah.
And they gave taxpayer dollars, $100 million actually in taxpayer money for that opening ceremony.
Yeah.
And whether it was a tribute, the 5 minutes that it was, whether it was a tribute to the ancient Greece or whatever it was, it very, very, very highly upset all these Christian-based countries. And I think rightfully so, because what did that have to do with the Olympics?
Yeah.
I think it was a statement on France's part, on their prime minister's beliefs, personally, because he has to sign off on everything that goes there, that goes on there. And personally, I think it's something that could have been left out, but the host country has their own beliefs, and they decided to go with it, and they've received a lot of backlash. They've issued a public apology, but it's definitely the talk of the internet right now. Yeah.
So we talked a little bit with Davey about it last night, and he said that, he didn't see the issue with it. And we kind of came to the agreement that drag is a satirical art. And so he didn't understand why people were so upset. We kind of talked about, all right, if it's the Feast of the Gods, then use a famous work of art that depicts the Feast of the Gods and reference that visually.
Yes.
It seemed, and even the performers were stating as the performance was wrapping up, that it was a satirical take on the Da Vinci painting, The Last Supper. And now they're kind of going back and they're saying
they're
Feast of the
backtracking,
Gods.
yeah.
And so, Davey's point was, why do people have to be so harsh? And I get that. I feel like it does more for the message to be like, hey, I don't appreciate this. I don't agree with this. And, I'm either going to watch or I'm not going to watch. I'm either going to turn the other cheek, or, I'm going to just nope out and not pay attention. I get that. I don't get the level of vitriol. And I feel like that was mostly coming from the back and forth, the arguments back and forth about, is it or isn't it?
Right.
I think that's where things got heated and heightened. Because the whole line that we've heard for the past 20 years is if you don't like it, turn the channel. And so if that's the answer, if it's going to be a, Netflix show you don't like, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If you don't like something that's on TV, then don't watch it. Then, we have to be okay with people turning the channel. Well, and that's what I wasn't seeing online is people were saying, look, I'm not going to watch this. I find this offensive. And people jumping on them about like, how dare you? If the answer is all speech is fair and all criticism is valid, then you have to be okay with people saying, well, I'm not going to participate and turning it off.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And then the other thing is you could have left the kids out of being around nude adults. That was a big issue for me personally.
So that's something I haven't heard a ton of people talk about is that there's Tightsgate. So one of the performers,
Tightsgate, is that what they're calling it?
So one of the performers is saying that there was a strategically placed, not intentional, but accidental. There was an unfortunately placed tear in his tights, tear in their tights that appeared on camera to be a single hanging fruit.
Yes. Well said.
Coming out of the costume. So some people are saying that, and it was the performer that was right next to the child. There was a child in that display. Toward the left of the picture, there was a small child, and then there's a performer to the left of that child. So it was that performer. And so people are saying like, look, there was male genitalia on camera, whether you like it or not. The performer themselves has said that it was a run in the stocking that just looked like that. So that's another, was it or wasn't it? But yeah, when there's nudity in children, that's not something that I think the world is okay with seeing right next to each other. And so, yeah, but the French have muddied the lines on what is and isn't appropriate with children
for a long time,
for a very long time.
This is true.
Some of the heroes of the progressive movement are French thinkers that had some very, very shady ideas of what was appropriate and what wasn't appropriate to engage in with children. So what are our standards for appropriate behavior around children is not necessarily agreed upon by the French.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But I think when you are the host of the largest watched sporting event worldwide, over 1 billion viewers that watch the opening ceremony worldwide, and you have a certain level of responsibility to be respectful to the world. Yeah,
for sure.
And I think they just crossed the line. I think they pushed it a little too far. So I don't want to spend the whole day on this topic, but we'll let the internet decide where it goes from here.
Bobby did point out that they lost a big sponsor. And
they lost tons of big sponsors.
Yeah. So the one that I think he's talking about is C-Spire, which is a Mississippi-based tech company.
Yeah, they're streaming. That was who was streaming everything for them, correct?
Dude, I'm not sure. So I've heard about it. They're a technology company. They posted on X that they had pulled all of its advertising from the Olympics over the ceremony's mockery of a painting created to show a biblical moment crucial to the Christian faith. They're shocked, blah, blah, blah. That's their quote. All right. So they definitely pulled their advertising.
Yes, Bobby. There was some controversy around the devil on the white horse. Yes.
So in the book of Revelation, there are 4 horsemen. Yes. And so the pale horseman in particular was the one that people were reacting to. I heard just a funny take about the Marie Antoinette thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, you invite the whole world and all of the world's dignitaries to Paris, and your welcoming ceremony, your opening welcoming moment, you're like, oh, by the way, we behead important people here.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of a weird statement to make when you've invited all of the world leaders to your city to be like, look, isn't it funny? We kill our leaders here. So it's an interest. I mean,
the whole thing was just odd.
Well, French opinions on art, again, are typically different than American opinions on art. It's kind of a joke about French films. I mean, if you've ever taken a film class, like you're going through films created in other countries, then it's like, and now we're going to do a French film. And it's always going to be weird.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just a thing. Yeah. So there's a fair amount of controversy. I'm beyond believing that very obvious symbolism is accidental these days.
I agree.
I mean, Occam's razor would suggest the simplest answer is the correct answer. And when you have such an obvious point for point recreation of a famous, iconic work of art, and then you have the performers acknowledging, yeah, it's so cool. I was drag Jesus in the Last Supper moment of the opening ceremonies. And then, 24 hours later, all mentions of it are deleted from the internet except in archives. And it's suddenly something else entirely. And it was inspired by something else entirely, even though they can't point to a single visual reference that matched that was created to immortalize the feasts of the gods or celebrations with Bacchus. I mean, I'm beyond believing that things are accidental at this point.
Same. It just adds to the movie that we're living in right now. You couldn't write a better script than what we're living in right now.
Well, people wouldn't believe it.
No, they wouldn't.
Like legit movie producers would deny the script because it's unbelievable and audiences would never buy it.
Yeah.
But it's reality.
It's
2024. Bobby says art, almost anything is allowed in art.
Yeah.
And
they use the word art to
a lot.
Justify anything.
Yes. I mentioned Netflix, and that's because Netflix had a controversy not too long ago, within the past couple of years, over a movie called Cuties. And it was
I remember
the young girl dance troupe, and it was very sexualized with children, and the director made some very unsettling statements about the filming of that project. And so there was a lot of backlash, and a lot of people killed their Netflix subscription over Cuties. Well, Cuties was a French film.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not surprised by anything. I don't approve of it, but I'm not surprised by much coming from France. They just have a different idea of what is appropriate there. And that's why I'm not raising my children in France.
Or LA for that matter.
Yeah, which is coming up.
In 4 years.
So that's what's interesting to me. I've been doing some research on Olympics, and the last time the Olympics were in Paris, where it was 1924.
Yeah, it was 100 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly 100 years ago. And the Olympics that followed the 1924 Paris Olympic Games were the Los Angeles Games in 28. And so now we're going to recreate that pattern, which I thought was kind of interesting. In talking about scandals and controversies, I found some. One of them was really funny that I wanted to mention. So in 1896, so this was I believe it was the first of the modern Olympic Games. So the Olympics harkens back for millennia, but this was the first modern incarnation of the games. So the marathon has always been one of the major Olympic events all the way back to ancient Greece. And so in the 1896 games, the bronze medalist in the marathon was disqualified after the medal ceremony because it was discovered that Spiridion Belocus, I'll put it in the chat.
Sure.
He was disqualified because he caught a carriage.
He caught
part of his race. A horse-drawn carriage.
So he snuck to the front?
So my Seinfeld fans out there, he George Costanza'd the race, and he got a bronze medal for his marathon. And they figured it out. And after the medaling ceremony, I believe, he was disqualified. So that was 1896's controversy, the first modern Olympic
If you
marathon.
ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Right?
Apparently.
There's not a picture of him. There is a picture of one of the medals, which I thought was kind of cool. So I don't know if this is a gold medal or bronze, silver. It's black and white. But I thought that was kind of a cool medal
funny.
picture. Yeah, 1896.
That's funny.
Then we have the infamous controversies in the 1930s because the National Socialist Party, which is colloquially known as a word that can get you banned and shadow banned on social media, so I'm not going to say it. The German National Socialist Party rose to power, and so there was a lot of controversy about the Olympics in the 30s. You were saying that the Germans were banned from
the Russians.
A number of Olympics in the 30s, but you're saying the Russians are banned from the Olympics right now, right?
Yes.
All right. And they've got their own propaganda situation that you can look up if you want on the Olympics right now. They're running if we ran the Olympics propaganda campaign. There's all sorts of controversies. There's like blood in the water polo matches from the 50s.
There's controversy around the Olympics now with, some of the boxing. There's a lot that's going on. It seems like every Olympic game, there's controversy.
Yeah, we talked about, is it judo, where the Tajikistan athlete refused to shake hands with the Israeli athlete, and then immediately got his arm broken, which was, karma, whatever. And the Olympic Committee would not let the Israeli athletes wear pins that said, bring them home now.
Yes.
And so the synchronized swimmers did their presentation in the pool during their warm-up, and that picture went viral of the synchronized swimmers. Well, it's not uncommon for Israeli athletes to have negative things occur to them. And at the Olympics in 1972 Summer Olympics in Munich, Israeli athletes were held hostage and murdered. It's not new, people persecuting and being violent against Israeli athletes. And it's not the first time that Russia has been banned from the Olympics and or have boycotted the Olympics. So in the 84 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, it looks like Moscow, there were Cold War boycotts. Looks like
I saw a funny meme online the other day.
Many countries skipped the games in protest because of these games. And in 1980, it was the Moscow Games. In 1984, it was Los Angeles. Why do we keep having the games in Los Angeles? Los Angeles is such a trash
We had them in
city.
Atlanta, I think, in the 90s. 96?
I was at that one.
Was it 96?
It was 96.
See, I'm good with my dates sometimes.
So it was the 100th anniversary of that games we were just talking about, where the marathon runner got DQ'd because he took a carrot.
That's hilarious.
So the 96 games had controversy as well. There was the Atlanta bombing.
So every Olympic Games, there's some kind of controversy.
There was something. So it's always going to happen.
It's funny. I saw this meme online the other day, and it's like, sports is so crazy because countries will be fighting wars against each other, and they'll be like, hey, let's pause real quick so we can play each other in sports in the Olympics, and then we'll get back to it.
There's the story from World War I where all of the nations had a ceasefire over Christmas.
Yeah.
And sort of famously, the nations that were battling each other came out of the trenches, and they were like playing soccer or football. I did hear about soccer, football, that controversy. We can talk about that.
Okay.
So they're like playing soccer and until the ceasefire, and then they go back to their trenches.
So go back to killing each other.
Start killing each other. Garth Brooks has a song, Bellewood, that's very moving. But do you remember the Lochte? Ryan Lochte in Rio de Janeiro?
Yep.
So Ryan Lochte was a swimmer, which... And he became famous because everyone thought he was a hottie patati. And then he had the false robbery situation.
Yep, in Rio.
That whole controversy. I don't even know what happened there. So yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff all the time in Olympics. And now we have the cardboard beds.
Yep. Well, they had the cardboard beds last time.
Tokyo, right?
Yes, had the cardboard beds during the COVID Olympics. I can't say that word, can I?
We're far enough in. We should be fine. Bobby, the Atlanta Games were a blast. So we walked past, my family and I was a kid. We walked past that area. We walked right past that wall. We went around to Atlanta Underground. We kind of shopped. There were just street vendors everywhere. And my dad got it was like Liechtenstein or some like completely random country had this tie-dye shirt that my dad just wanted to get. So we got that shirt for my dad. I think he still has it. And we're just, having a good time seeing what's going on. There were vendors from all kinds of different countries and just people from all around the world. So it's kind of a wild experience. And by the time we walked past that wall again to get back to our hotel room, and once we were in our hotel room, we heard that a bomb went off. So from the time it took us to walk past that area to get into our room, that's when it all happened.
Holy cow.
So we were just by there.
That's so crazy.
We just missed the blast. If we had lingered a little bit longer buying my dad a t-shirt, then we would have heard it.
Oh my goodness.
It was wild.
That is wild.
And so that was kind of my first brush with political violence, I guess you could say. I don't even remember if they said his motive. See if I can find it.
That's crazy.
But we were right there for that. We were there to see basketball.
Okay, nice. Yep.
My brother was the one that was super into sports. So my dad's like, he's going to want to watch basketball. He loves basketball. And it was, Dream Team. It was 96 Dream Team, not the 92 Dream Team. And so... a
lot of the same guys were on that team, though.
Yeah, a lot of them were. But it was because of all of the hype from the 92 games that my brother had like posters from the 92 Olympics and stuff like that. So my dad's all excited that my brother's going to be like, cause my brother was a teenager at that point. So like trying to get him excited about something is hard when you're in your teens, a family event. And my brother kept sneaking off because the same arena had the gymnasts. And my brother had such a crush on the USA gymnastics team. And so he kept like sneaking. We would go early for warm-ups so we could try and get autographs and see the basketball players longer. And my brother keeps sneaking off to go to the curtain. And there was one spot where you could just lean over and use your binoculars to see the U.S. Olympic team warming up and the gymnastics team. Oh, goodness. That was so funny. My dad was so annoyed. He's like, I spent all this time and all this money to get him to the basketball event. And I guess I should have bought women's gymnastics.
That's
so it was
so funny.
Centennial Olympic Park is what we walked past. The suspect was Richard Jewell. That's right. I remember that. I'm trying to find his motive, though. I know there was some controversy about the whole thing. But I can't remember exactly. Like there was some, I was a kid. The bomb exploded 13 minutes later, killed one person. Her name was Alice Hawthorne, and injuring more than 100 more. And a cameraman died of a heart attack while running to take photographs of the incident.
That's unfortunate.
It says exoneration. So I guess Jewell was exonerated. Richard Jewell is not considered a target of the federal criminal investigation. So do we know who did it?
So it's an unsolved case.
I don't know. In 98, Eric Rudolph was named a suspect.
They're saying in the chat that Richard Jewell was not at fault.
Yeah, they're saying it was exonerated October 26, 1996. That's wild. Why did he come up, Google? Do we not know? Let's see. It looks like Eric Rudolph agreed April 2005. He pleaded guilty to the bombing. So it was Eric Rudolph.
Eric Rudolph.
Wow. So Jewell, I remember there was controversy. So they went after Jewell, and then I guess they completely exonerated him. That's wild. So my mom's in the chat. Yeah. She's correcting me. She was there.
Oh, that's your mom that's correcting you?
Yeah,
gotcha.
Susan.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
Hi, Mom.
Stay on her, Susan.
Right? Got to keep me straight. So yeah, Eric Rudolph, I guess, ultimately. And his motive was in opposition to global socialism. And he was not down for abortion on demand. And that's why he says he did it. I don't know.
So he killed innocent people to make that statement. And they blame the wrong guy for it.
Yeah, like your message was not received. Political violence did not work in your favor, dude. We didn't even remember who you were. All right. Whatever, loser. All right. So controversies in the Olympics are pretty consistent. I know there's a lot of issues in Paris with the trains.
Yep.
There's violence and there's all sorts of riots around the area in Paris.
That's been going on in Paris for a minute. I was over there last year in September, and we avoided Paris entirely because of all the protests that were going on.
Yeah. There's been a lot of unrest in France in general, but Paris specifically. The surfer, this picture has won the internet's hearts. So
which the surfing is taking place in French Polynesia, right?
I think so.
It is.
So the Brazilian surfer won with the highest score ever awarded in a surfing competition in the Olympics, which was a 9.9. He got the gold medal, and when he realized that he had won gold, he does this. I want to see the video. I've only seen the picture. I don't even begin to know how you would get yourself in that position with a surfboard. But I guess if you're a gold medalist,
if you jump off of it, I guess.
You know how to.
Good for him.
That's what we need Mike Davis here for, to give us the deets on how you can do that.
Yeah, this is right up his alleyway.
But that's wild. So that's Brazil's Gabriel Medina. And I've heard that part of his statement on why he did that was that he was giving glory to God for his award-winning run.
Nice.
So that's pretty impressive. He's 30 years old, and he's from Brazil, gold medalist in surfing. Congratulations, bud.
Good for him.
Yeah, they're in French Polynesia. They're in Tahiti.
Tahiti, yep, that's what I thought.
I mean, I feel like they got the perfect location.
Yeah, they got
the Summer Olympics.
And they're staying on a cruise ship.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not enough infrastructure to house all of the athletes in an Olympic village.
So they're like really getting the sweet deal.
Dude, I should be a surfer. Mike tells me I can surf. I don't think I can. That's a cool gig. You get to stay on a cruise ship. I wonder if they have the cardboard beds.
No, they don't.
Did they gut the cruise ship to give them the cardboard beds? Oh man, that's wild. Good for him. So are there any other Olympic news or cool sporting events in the Olympics that you want to talk about?
No,
I can Google it to try.
I think we've covered the Olympics.
All right.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
All right. So we kind of mentioned a little bit about words you can't say on Facebook and on the interwebs. Have I mentioned Mark Zuckerberg's amazing and Threads is fantastic? Speaking of Facebook, they have admitted to censoring the iconic image of Trump with his fist up. So I think we've all seen this picture. Let me see. Where are we going? Did I get a pop-up? Did I lose camera control? I think I did. All right. So we've all seen the image of Trump with his fist up, blood coming down his face, getting pulled off the stage. Iconic,
yes.
On the 13th. Facebook has admitted to censoring this image.
Why?
So
did they give a reason?
I'm trying to figure out the timeline on it. And I think that it started when the FBI director, Ray.
You got it. It's up there.
There we go. So I think it started when Ray made his erroneous claim that the FBI wasn't sure whether it was a bullet or shrapnel that hit Trump. So FBI immediately came out after that discussion and said, no, we know that it was a bullet.
Okay.
So it's confirmed it was a bullet. Even the FBI admits it. But when Ray made that claim during the congressional discussion, I don't even know what you would call it at this point, the hearings, I'm wondering if that's when Facebook started censoring it. Because I know that they've admitted that they did. So they did the like blurred out thing where it's like, this image is censored. Yep. And they were calling it misinformation.
Of course they were.
So you have to click it to see it. Like, are you sure you want to see this image? Know that it's been assessed as possible misinformation. So they have come out, they've admitted that they did it, and they have apologized for their mistake. Do you think that is a legit apology?
Okay, so if you would have asked me this 2 years ago, I would have told you no. But yeah. I've become kind of fond of Zuckerberg as of recent years. Mm-hmm. He's been more open to the public about his mistakes when he was younger. He's been more open.
That's very recent, though.
It is very recent. It is very recent. So
Yeah.
I would say in the past 6 months, I've seen Zuckerberg kind of do a 180 on everything that he was known for previous to this past 6 months.
So to back up what you're saying, so what Meta has said is that the fact check was initially applied to a doctored version of that iconic photo where someone photoshopped the Secret Service agents' faces and put smiles on their faces.
Gotcha.
And then the systems were not sensitive enough to tell the difference between that doctored image with smiling Secret Service agents versus the real image. And so it accidentally blurred out the real image.
Gotcha.
So that's to back up your claim that maybe it was an accident. Again, I'm kind of, as they say in the interwebs, black-pilled on these mistakes only ever seem to go one direction. And that direction always seems to censor the truth coming from the conservative side of the discussion. And so I
would agree with you on that. I would agree with you 100%.
I kind of feel like someone was like, oh, there's this fake photo that I've never seen. There's this fake photo. So we can just like broaden the tolerance level a little bit on that filter.
That could be true.
We can just suppress it for as long as we can get away with it.
Right.
And then the second someone catches it, we'll admit it. And we'll say, oh, this filter was to actually censor the real fake news.
That sounds more like the truth than...
That's what I feel like.
And now they can just blame everything on AI.
Yeah.
Oh, the AI did it. Sorry.
Man, we gotta tune in those algorithms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Those algorithms are sophisticated enough to hear me say a word in a discussion when I don't have my phone open and then feed me ads for those things. I'm probably going to get travel ads for Tahiti because of this conversation.
Yes, 100%.
But it's not sophisticated enough to tell the difference between the real photo and the fake one. I don't know that I'm buying it.
I agree.
I can't prove it, but I don't know that I'm buying it. I do like some of what Zuckerberg has been saying lately. So, I mean, if he's having a real awakening on, you know, maybe that term authoritative sources is a little dangerous.
I think he's just getting older and he's just evolving as a person.
Well, he's gotten into grappling sports.
He has.
And it's hard to not believe in truth, in absolute truth, when someone is choking you out.
Correct. Like, no, I agree.
You can't manifest your own reality and get out of a chokehold.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
And so there are certain activities I feel like once you get deep in, they can kind of rattle you a little bit. And I've been around a fair amount of jujitsu gyms and jujitsu guys, and they're not necessarily all conservative, but they all have a very strong grip in reality.
Yeah.
And so I imagine you can only train jujitsu so long hearing your own worldview parroted back at you as Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Before you encounter someone that's going to be like, that can choke you out, for one, and that you kind of trust in this area of jujitsu, that you have to acknowledge, okay, well, if they're honest in that, and I trust them to not hurt me when I tap, to like release when I tap, then I have to give some credence to the fact that they might not be crazy in all these other areas.
No, I agree with that logic 100%.
I mean, I don't see a ton of the Silicon Valley bubble training jujitsu. So I think it might have been one of the first times he sort of stepped out of that tech world rich guy bubble and got down and dirty on the mats. With
got a dose of reality.
Yeah, that have been punched in the face before.
Yeah, because being in that Silicon Valley tech bubble, like you said, you can lose your sense of reality very quickly. And you can be misguided and lose touch with the average human. And that world is very different.
Well, and there comes a point when... So Zuckerberg was very young when he became very, very wealthy.
Very wealthy, yes.
And who knows kind of upbringing he had and what kind of foundation he had as far as principle and knowledge and understanding and worldview. Who knows what any of that was? So he rises to wealth in college in his early 20s, late teens, something like that. I didn't watch the network or whatever it was.
The Social Network.
I didn't watch any of the 3 movies about him. But like, you come to wealth at that young age. I feel like you surround yourself with people that you trust. And then maybe you're all like getting high on each other's farts. Like, there's only so much wisdom that can come out of that group, right?
Yes, no, you're
all
you're
sort
correct.
of parroting the same ideas because that's the circle that he trusts. And then suddenly he becomes this influential person that has influential people in Washington, D.C. calling him and telling him that the fate of the world is resting on him making the right decisions. And I could see how he could be emotionally manipulated in that way.
For sure.
And I could see how he could be sort of used and exploited as being such a young titan of empire. I mean, that would be hard to be so young and immature, and none of us were geniuses in our early 20s. Even geniuses weren't terribly wise in their young 20s, I'm sure. To have all of that foisted on him, that blessing, but it's also a little limiting. I mean, I've heard a theory that you are never more mature than you are when you gain fame.
Never more mature than you are when you gain fame.
That's the level of maturity that you stick with for the rest of your life.
Oh, from when you gain the fame, like you're maturing, so like ends right there.
Justin Bieber got famous at 13.
Right.
He dresses like a billionaire.
13-year-old.
That's a 13-year-old, right?
I understand what you're saying, yes.
That's one of the reasons why childhood stars perhaps go astray so much in Hollywood. Because like from the moment you become a household name, like it is super hard to, I imagine, to listen to anyone else in their opinion and take their guidance. And the ones that have come out of it are people like Robert Downey Jr., who have talked about needing a mentor and needing to be grounded in something in reality and needing to be humbled. And he now lives on a farm and he shovels poop all the time because like you got to get your hands dirty and remember that you're no better than anyone else. But I imagine that for a while there, he had a lot of people telling him that the fate of the world depended on him making the right decisions.
100%.
And he was in a very sequestered little bubble where everyone agreed. They all vote the same way. They all donate money to the same political causes. And he felt like he had the right answer because he had inside information. And it maybe wasn't the best for the world, some of the decisions that he made.
Well, that's why Elon Musk has X now. So
yeah, that is one of the reasons. Oh, Bobby's pointing out another controversy. Don't forget when the men's basketball team refused their silver medal because of the referees screwing up the game against Russia. Oh, in the 70s.
In the late 70s, yep.
Interesting. And there's been some really miraculous medals. We talked a little bit about that with Carrie and now Simone Biles. There's that famous hockey team, the Miracle on the Ice hockey team situation.
That was when the Team USA faced
the Russians,
the Russians. Yes, faced the Russians, who were the heavy favorite.
Yeah. Well, that
was a good movie. That's a really good movie about hardship in sports. Yeah.
I heard an idiom about sports movies is that it can't be about the sports. It has to be about a person. Because people will tune out if it's just about the sport. So that's why you have like Rudy as a football movie.
You have to have like the backstory.
On Rudy, you need your hero. And I think the Olympics is good for providing heroes for us. It's a cool time. I mean, yes, there are controversies. I haven't watched it. I probably wasn't going to watch it.
Back to the censorship thing.
Yeah.
I think I saw that Google you couldn't type in Trump assassination on Google. So they were censoring that.
That's another side of it.
I saw Elon Musk talk about that. I saw Patrick Bet-David talk about that.
Let's see. Yeah, Google was definitely busted censoring search results. So if you searched about the assassination attempt, then like it's not autofilling right now.
It doesn't autofill, right?
Assassination attempt. Yeah. And so that's one of the things about all this talk about security in elections, is that there's a growing amount of research that just with search results, you can affect how people vote.
For sure.
And it's so subtle that people don't even realize that they're being propagandized, or that they're being led down a certain path. But there's a growing body of research to show that just getting a vote today reminder on your Google landing page will affect the percentage of people that vote in that area.
Yeah.
And so what they found is that Google would give vote today reminders in blue areas, especially in the 2020 elections and the 2022 midterms. Google would give those vote today reminders in traditionally Democrat leaning areas, but would not give them in Republican areas.
Wow.
And just that, I heard the numbers.
Wow.
But it's a surprising amount that it will affect the number of votes that are cast in those areas.
Yeah, Keely says that she thinks she saw where they were being bought with search results as well. They talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Good gracious.
It's truly astonishing, right? Because it's basically what I like to call a psyop, which is psychological warfare.
Yeah.
And the CIA's been doing this since the 80s. They've been using...
Did you see the CIA came out and said, no, the events on July 13 had nothing to do with MK Ultra?
No, I didn't see
CIA made a statement
I didn't see that.
It's like,
But psychological warfare has been a thing. And what they do is they prime your subconscious. It's used by magicians that can read your mind. It's subconscious priming. And they can do that, like we said, with buying search results, with putting reminder to votes in areas. And what we're seeing now is we're seeing other countries like Venezuela, where
it's a mess there.
They are like, okay, well, America's rigging elections. Yeah. They're doing a lot of shady stuff with the voting and all that. Why can't we do that?
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, America is the big brother still to the rest of the world. And they kind of look up to us and be like, hey, what can we get away with? What can we do? How should we handle this? Like, how did America handle it? How did it turn out for them? And if we don't get our ducks in a row and really hammer down on being a democratic capitalist nation, like it's going to turn out bad for the rest of the world, because it's going to be a snowball effect.
Yeah.
We already see that in Venezuela. We see it in some African countries. It's really not good. And we're really on the verge of a World War III, in my opinion. And I'm scared to death of it, because, we're inches away from maybe having even a civil war here. So,
yeah. I mean, I think that we really avoided, we narrowly avoided some very dark and dangerous times on July 13th. And it was because a man turned his head.
Yes.
The CIA spokesperson on Thursday said the claims are utterly false, absurd, and damaging. The CIA had no relationship whatsoever with Thomas Crooks. Regarding MK Ultra, the CIA's program was shut down more than 40 years ago. And so well,
I don't believe anything the CIA says.
CIA coming out and saying this seems more suspicious to me than them not saying anything.
Whatever they say, I believe the opposite.
Right.
That's what history has taught me. So
I mean, now it's just like commonly talked about that the Kennedys were taken out by intelligence agencies.
Yep.
Like, we have sitting Congress people that just speak about it as fact, as
openly,
if that's like legit what occurred. And so CIA coming out when we know surprisingly little about what happened on the 13th, that it's so suspicious.
The whole thing is strange.
Everything's weird.
The kid was in a BlackRock commercial when he was younger. The building that he was on was owned by BlackRock. There's just a lot.
It was also the hub for all of law enforcement, and they just all happen to leave the exact moment he climbed. Yeah. There's so much weird information coming out.
It's just,
I don't like it.
Like I said, it gets crazier and crazier.
And that's the thing, like we were talking about at the beginning of the show, if you were to write a script and turned it into Hollywood and say, I want to make a movie out of this, Hollywood would turn you down.
Too far-fetched.
It's too far-fetched. Yep. And you know what's far-fetched? We've got an hour at this point. So
we've gone an hour already?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're already time's up today,
Time flies when Mike's on vacation.
Right? So thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, we sort of free associated a lot of information today.
We did.
There's just so much in the headlines that it's hard to know what to believe. It's hard to know how to filter it out. And so I think it's important to talk it out with people and like, do you think this is real? Do you think this isn't? I mean, vetting ideas is part of why we have free speech.
100%. And having the conversation is the first step in the right direction.
I agree.
So
thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Levi, for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun, and we'll see y'all next week.
Tune in tomorrow to find out what kind of shower Mike has gotten himself in tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Take care.